I'm going to reveal something to you that will change your love destiny forever. There are 3 secret words that, when you apply them, program a man's mind to love only you. Today, I'm going to share with you the powerful and unmatched hidden secret of Carl Jung. And once you know it, no man will ever see you as just another option again, because you'll become the only woman capable of obsessing his mind, dominating his deepest instinct, and leaving a mark on his soul so intense that he'll never be able to rip you out of his heart, even if he tries with all his might. So hit the like button right now and subscribe. It's totally free for you, and it helps me a ton. Ready? Let's go. Secret 1. The hidden program that keeps you trapped. There's a secret reason why, even if you know 1,000 strategies, even if you follow all the advice on male psychology, even if you try to be the perfect woman, he still doesn't fully see you as the one. And that reason isn't him. It's the hidden program quietly running inside you. It's a program that Carl Jung would describe as an active psychic complex, an unconscious structure you operate without even realizing it, but which emits such a clear, energetic frequency that any man picks up on it and reacts to it. This program is the proving program. I want you to take a deep breath and listen with your soul, because what I'm about to reveal can free you forever. Hear this with fresh ears, not the ears of "I've heard this before," and you'll fully understand something crucial. The proving program says this: I have to prove to him that I'm worthy. I have to show him I'm good enough to be chosen. I have to convince him to pick me over anyone else. Every time this program gets triggered, your energy shifts. Without realizing it, your vibe goes from magnetic to needy. You stop being the woman who radiates a field of abundance and become the woman who broadcasts the frequency of neediness. Let me tell you a true story that illustrates this program. Her name is Diana, 33 years old, a physical therapist, an entrepreneur, owner of her own practice, admired by her family, loved by her patients. She met Stephen, a 38-year-old lawyer, brilliant, charismatic, with a strong masculine energy that drew her in like a magnet. At first, Stephen pursued her, flooding her with messages, plans, gestures, promises. But as Diana started to fall in love, something in her energy changed. She began doing small things that seemed harmless, but which triggered the hidden program. She made sure to reply to him within minutes, even if she was busy. She started asking if he was okay whenever she sensed him going quiet. If he canceled a plan, she'd immediately propose another one. She began posting stories on social media showing herself happy, not for herself, but so he could see what he was missing out on. On the surface, all of this looked like love, attention, and care. But energetically, it was the proving program in full force. Stephen, unconsciously, started to feel that Diana needed to be chosen, and his masculine energy reacted the way it always does to this vibration. He pulled away, not because she wasn't worthy, not because he didn't like her, but because the hidden program was sending a clear, energetic message. You're up here, I'm down here, I have to earn your love. And no man feels magnetically drawn to a woman whose energy places her beneath his own. Carl Jung said that what you deny subjugates you, and what you accept transforms you. And as long as you keep denying that this program exists within you, you'll keep running it unconsciously and keep attracting his indifference. I want you to take a deep breath right now and ask yourself honestly, how many times have you felt the need to prove your worth? How many times have you replied quickly to his messages just so he wouldn't lose interest? How many times have you posted something on social media, not for yourself, but so he would see it? How many times have you put on makeup, dressed up, or shown yourself as happy just so he'd regret not reaching out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not weak, you are not pathetic, you are not stupid. You are human, and this program was installed in you from childhood. From the moment you learned that you had to behave, to be loved, be pretty to be chosen, be good to be accepted. But today I'm going to tell you something you must never forget. Real love cannot be earned. Real love is recognized. And as long as your energy keeps saying, look at me, choose me, tell me I'm worthy, you'll keep being seen as a woman who doesn't recognize her own power. Because men aren't magnetically attracted to women who prove themselves. They're drawn to women who don't need to prove anything. A woman who knows who she is, who rests in her own worth, who understands that her presence is a privilege, not a prize for whoever manages to win her over. Carl Jung said that a woman who integrates her shadow, who recognizes and transcends her unconscious programming, becomes a portal of power that's impossible to ignore. And that's exactly what you're going to start doing today. But first, remember this truth. As long as this program is running, no code will work. Because the 3-word code you're going to learn today isn't some magic spell to trap him. It's a vibrational reset that only works once your energy is free from the proving program. Secret 2. The power of acknowledging, the key that shatters the illusion. So stay tuned, because in Secret 2, I'm going to reveal the first word of this code. The key that shatters the illusion and opens the door of your awareness so that his mind can't let you go. This is the moment where true transformation begins, because right here, you're going to receive the first word of Carl Jung's 3-word code, what he would call a psychic disruptor. A word that not only changes what you think, but changes the vibration you emit. And that first word is, I acknowledge. Listen with your soul. I acknowledge is the key that shatters the illusion. Because up until now, all your pain, your obsession, your anxiety, and your attachment have not come from the man himself, but from the fantasy your mind projected onto him. Carl Jung said that what we love in others is not truly the other person, but the part of ourselves we see reflected in their image. To acknowledge is to see that with brutal clarity. Let me share the true story of Miriam. She's 31, a nutritionist, seemingly with a balanced life, yet she always chose men who didn't choose her back. She met Lucas, an entrepreneurial chef, creative, magnetic, a man who shone with his own light. When they were together, Miriam felt like her life was an adventure, like anything was possible, like she was special. But over time, Lucas began revealing his emotional immaturity. He would disappear for days, cancel plans without explanation, leave messages unanswered. And instead of walking away, Miriam clung on tighter. She texted him to make sure he was okay. She'd bring desserts to his restaurant to brighten his day. She waited for his messages until she fell asleep at night. When the relationship finally ended, Miriam fell into a deep emptiness. Her therapist asked her, "What is it that you miss most about him?" Miriam cried and said, "The feeling that my life was magical." And there was the brutal revelation. She didn't miss Lucas. She missed the part of herself that felt alive when she was with him. And that's where the first key of the code comes in. I acknowledge that what I'm feeling isn't about him, but about the projection of my own light onto him. I acknowledge that I don't need his validation to know who I am. I acknowledge that my worth doesn't depend on his gaze, his love, or his approval. Carl Jung said projection is the main obstacle to true love. Because as long as you're trapped in the illusion that he's everything you want, you'll never see the truth. You are everything you're searching for. When you activate the word I acknowledge, everything changes. You stop seeing him as a god and start seeing him as just a man. You stop seeing yourself as a woman in need and start seeing yourself as a complete woman. You no longer place yourself beneath him, not even as his equal, but firmly on your throne. Let me share a practical exercise to integrate this first word today. Close your eyes. Visualize his face, his eyes, his smile, the way he moves. Let all the emotions rise up as they naturally do. Then ask yourself, what exactly is it that attracts me to him? What do I feel about myself when I'm with him? Answer with complete honesty. Maybe you feel freedom, joy, passion, security, inspiration. Now say out loud, I acknowledge that this feeling is mine. I acknowledge that this light is mine. I acknowledge that what I see in him is my own greatness reflected back at me. Say it several times until your body begins to feel a quiet relief. That relief is the beginning of freedom. Because here's the brutal and beautiful truth. When you acknowledge that your worth is absolute, his indifference no longer hurts you. When you acknowledge that his presence doesn't determine your happiness, his absence loses its power. When you acknowledge that the real man is just a man, and that the magic was always yours, you stop idealizing, and you begin to truly see. Carl Jung said that the bravest act of a human being is daring to see reality without the filters of the ego. And that's the function of the first word in this code. I acknowledge deactivates the illusion. It pulls you out of the fantasy, returns you to truth, and seats you on your throne. Because a man does not become obsessed with the woman who idealizes him. A man becomes obsessed with the woman who recognizes herself as the source of her own power. So today, strong soul, engrave this deep within you. Don't seek his validation. Don't seek his approval. Don't seek his love to feel worthy. Know yourself, and his mind, his body, and his soul will start to feel something different whenever they're near you. The vibration of a woman who no longer searches because she's already found everything she needs in her own heart. Stay tuned, because in Secret 3, I'm going to reveal the second word of this code. The word that will help you reclaim the part of yourself you gave away without realizing it. And once you recover it, his mind will no longer be able to stop thinking about you. Secret 3. The act of reclaiming. I'm going to tell you how to recover the power you gave away. If you've made it this far, you already know something most women will never understand. It's not him who has you trapped. It's the part of yourself that you keep silently giving away. Here's where I reveal the second word in the 3-word code. The word that Carl Jung would call the restoration of lost psychic power. The word that transforms a woman from being a satellite orbiting around a man to becoming a sun that shines effortlessly. And that word is, I reclaim. I reclaim isn't just a word you say, it's a word you embody. It's an inner act of silent strength that declares to the universe, to your mind, to your energetic field, and to any man, this power is mine, this light is mine, this life is mine. But what does reclaim mean in this context? It means recovering the energy, the mental space, the worth, and the golden projections that you handed over without realizing it. Let me share a true story that illustrates the brutal power of this word. Her name is Gabriella, 38 years old, a life and women's leadership coach, a strong, brilliant woman. But in her love life, she always felt small. She met Mark, a 45-year-old businessman, attractive, confident, dominant, with such intense masculine energy that she would tremble just from his gaze. From the very first day, Gabriella felt Mark was different. His confidence, his vision, his intensity. She told herself, I've never met a man like this. He's everything I ever dreamed of. Without realizing it, she began giving pieces of herself away. She gave him her mental space, thinking about him all day, every hour, every minute. She gave him her energy. If he didn't text, her day was ruined. If he reached out, her day shone. She gave away her inner sense of worth. She started doing her hair, makeup, and choosing clothes not for herself, but to please him more. She gave him her golden qualities, her leadership, her vision, her strength. She started seeing those qualities in him and forgetting that they had always belonged to her. When Mark began to act distant and cold, Gabriella felt completely empty. In a session with her energy mentor, she cried and said, I feel like without him, I'm nothing. Her mentor replied with the most brutal and liberating truth she'd ever heard. It's not his absence that hurts. What hurts is the part of yourself you gave away, the part you haven't yet reclaimed as yours. And here's the revelation of this secret. To reclaim means taking your power off his altar. To reclaim means taking back the light you believed he was igniting. To reclaim means realizing that every quality you admired in him was actually a projection of your own. Carl Jung said that golden projections are those parts of you that you haven't yet recognized as your own, which you place onto others because your ego still can't handle how magnificent they truly are. And as long as you don't reclaim them, you'll remain a woman who feels empty without a man's presence. Here's a practical, brutally powerful exercise for integrating I reclaim today. Close your eyes. Visualize his face in front of you. Look at him calmly, without hatred or attachment. Ask yourself, what qualities do I love in him? Maybe it's his confidence, his leadership, his creativity, his freedom, his sensuality, his strength. Recognize them. Now say out loud, I reclaim this quality as mine. It has always been mine. He only reflected it. Today I take it back and activate it within myself. Repeat this with every quality until you feel a tingling in your chest, warmth in your solar plexus, or a profound sense of relief. That's your energetic field reconfiguring itself. Because here's the mystical truth. When you pull back your golden projections from him, you stop worshiping him and start worshiping yourself. You stop feeling like he was the gift and realize you were always the gift. Carl Jung said that the most dangerous human being is the one who needs nothing from anyone to feel complete. And here's the vibrational impact of reclaiming. When you reclaim your light, his mind begins to perceive you differently. You're no longer the woman orbiting around him. You become the gravitational center he can't ignore. You're no longer the satellite, you're the sun. Because a man might admire a woman's beauty, he might desire her body, he might enjoy her company, but he becomes obsessed with the woman who needs nothing from him. He becomes obsessed with the woman who reclaims her power, who knows she's whole, and who vibrates at such a high frequency that her very presence becomes a privilege, not an acquired right. So today, strong soul, engrave this deep within your being. Don't give him your energy anymore. Don't give him your thoughts. Don't give him your sense of worth. Reclaim everything that is yours. Activate it within yourself. And you'll see how his mind, his body, and his masculine energy will no longer be able to ignore you. Stay tuned, because in Secret 4, I'm going to reveal the third word of this code, the word that will make you an irresistible magnet. Secret 4, the art of resonating. The magnetism that makes chasing unnecessary. If you've already integrated, I acknowledge, the first word that freed you from illusion, and I reclaim, the second word that returned your power to you, you're ready for the third word of the three-word code. The word that Carl Jung would describe as the vibrational manifestation of individuation, the word that turns you into a magnet. And that word is, I resonate. I resonate isn't a mental concept, it's a state of being. It means emitting a vibration so coherent, so full, so self-sufficient, that you don't need to chase anything. Because everything vibrating on your frequency comes to you by natural law. But first, I want you to understand this brutal truth. Most women don't resonate. They emit energetic noise of anxiety, doubt, neediness, comparison, expectation. And men, who operate from a collective unconscious designed to detect threats and disharmony, perceive that noise as imbalance. And nothing kills masculine attraction faster than feeling that the woman in front of him needs his energy to maintain her internal stability. Let me share a true story that will make this clear. Her name is Valerie, 29 years old, an architect, creative, empathetic, with a magnetic beauty, yet always emotionally abandoned by the men she loved. She met Andrew, a 35-year-old civil engineer, a man with natural leadership and a powerful presence. From the first day, Valerie was fascinated. She admired him, listened to him, watched him as if he were a king she needed to serve. Without realizing it, her energy began vibrating with neediness. She worried if he took too long to respond. She planned her week around his availability. She dressed thinking about what he might like. She silenced her opinions so as not to make him uncomfortable. At first, Andrew pursued her intensely, but over time, his masculine energy began to pull away. Valerie couldn't understand why, until in energy therapy, her guide told her, "Your energy doesn't resonate. Your energy begs, and begging energy repels." And that's where the third word of the code comes in. I resonate. When Valerie understood it and integrated it, her life changed forever. I resonate means vibrating at your highest frequency without seeking external approval to validate it. I resonate means walking through the world with silent certainty that you're enough, without having to prove it. I resonate means being a sun, a center of gravity so powerful that the planets revolve around you without you lifting a finger to attract them. Carl Jung used to say that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are without masks, is the most attractive and magnetic state a human being can achieve. And that's exactly what I resonate activates within you. Let me share with you a vibrational exercise so you can integrate this word into your energetic field today. Close your eyes. Sit up straight. Take 3 deep breaths. Visualize a golden sun in your solar plexus. Feel its warmth, its expansion, its silent strength. Say out loud, I resonate at my highest frequency. My energy is abundance, wholeness, certainty. I don't need to chase anything because everything that vibrates at my frequency comes to me. Feel your energetic field expanding several feet beyond your body. Feel your chest open and your spine straighten with dignity. Here's the energetic truth. When you resonate, you no longer need to chase, because your vibration sends out a silent message that no man can ignore. If you want to be with me, you'll have to rise to my frequency. A man may feel desire for the woman who chases him, but he becomes obsessed with the woman who resonates in her own fullness. The woman who doesn't seek, doesn't chase, doesn't demand, because she is so full of herself that her presence feels like a privilege reserved for the few. Let me tell you how Valerie's story ended. After integrating I Resonate, her energy changed effortlessly. She began speaking up with confidence in work meetings. She started dressing for herself, in colors and textures that reminded her of her inner fire. She began sharing her artistic projects online without fear of judgment. She started sleeping peacefully, no longer checking her phone every night. And Andrew began seeking her out again, but no longer with the energy of I'm in control. Instead, he pursued her with the look of a man who realizes that if he doesn't choose her soon, another man will see her shining and sweep her away. Why is it that a man may feel secure with the woman who idolizes him, but only feels true urgency for the woman who resonates so powerfully that his soul fears losing her? Here's the final integration of this secret. I acknowledge frees me from illusion. I reclaim restores my power to me. I resonate turns me into a magnetic sun that never needs to chase. Carl Jung said that true attraction arises when we stop projecting lack and start manifesting wholeness. And that's the frequency of I Resonate. So today, strong soul, engrave this into every cell of your being. You're not here to be chosen. You're here to shine. And whoever can withstand your light will stay, without you lifting a single finger. Secret 5. Reprogramming in action. This is the attitude that changes everything. Stay tuned, because in Secret 5, I'll reveal how this code works in real life. How to respond from your power in everyday situations, so that his mind not only feels your magnetism, but can never forget you. Everything you've learned up to this point has been revealing, profound, and transformative. You've received the 3-word code. I acknowledge, which deactivates the illusion. I reclaim, which restores your power. I resonate, which makes you a magnetic force. But here's the ultimate truth. None of this matters if you don't apply it in real life. Because energetic reprogramming isn't completed in the mind. It's completed through daily action. In the micro decisions, in those moments where you used to react from your wounds, but now respond from your power. Carl Jung said that integration isn't intellectual understanding. It's embodied practice. So today, I'm going to show you how this code works in action, so you can see clearly how your vibration can completely change the dynamic with a man, without saying a single unnecessary word. Scenario 1. The unanswered message. Before this code, you see he read your message but didn't reply. Your heart races, your stomach clenches, your mind goes into panic mode. You start rereading the conversation, wondering if you said something wrong. You think, I should send him another message to rekindle his interest. You feel anxious, powerless, and your frequency drops instantly. After this code, I acknowledge. You breathe deeply and say silently, I acknowledge that his reply or silence doesn't determine my worth. I reclaim. You visualize your energy coming back from his field to yours. You feel the relief of not being anchored to his reactions. You tell yourself, I reclaim my power. I reclaim my peace. My energy belongs to me. I resonate. You get up, drink a glass of water, look in the mirror and smile. You feel your fullness vibrating. Your frequency says, I'm good, whole, and at peace. If he responds, great. If not, great too. Result, your vibration shifts from anxiety to serenity. He, sensing your energetic field, feels the difference, and his masculine instinct is triggered by your sovereign calm. Scenario 2. The canceled plan. Before this code, he cancels the date at the last minute. You're angry, but mostly sad. You start asking yourself, am I not a priority? Did I do something wrong? You reply coldly or with resignation, it's fine, whatever you want. You stay home, replaying his decision in your mind and vibrating in lack. After this code, I acknowledge. You breathe and say, I acknowledge that his plans don't define my life or my joy. I reclaim. You feel your time, energy, and emotions returning to you. You say, I reclaim my evening. I reclaim my freedom. I reclaim my power to create beautiful experiences without him. I resonate. You decide to go out with a friend, go to the movies alone, work on that project, or take a salt bath while listening to your favorite playlist. Your vibration says, my life is mine. His presence adds to it, but it doesn't define it. Result, he perceives that his absence doesn't destabilize you, That silent stability registers in his unconscious as, she is her own complete world. If I don't choose her quickly, another man will. Scenario 3. When he comes back after days of silence. Before this code, he texts you after days of silence. You feel euphoric, relieved, eager to show him you're not mad. You reply immediately with excessive affection, trying to reignite the connection. His mind perceives, she'll always be there for me, no matter what I do. After this code, I acknowledge. You breathe deeply and say, I acknowledge that his message is not a gift that completes me. I'm already whole. I reclaim. You visualize your light returning to your center. You say, I reclaim my energetic dignity. My attention is sacred. I resonate. You wait to reply calmly when you truly feel like it. Your response is warm but serene, with no anxiety or expectation. Your vibration says, it's nice to hear from you, but my world keeps turning with or without you. Result, his masculine instinct feels a subtle void, a sense of impending loss, and his desire to come closer intensifies. Here's the brutal truth of this secret. The code doesn't change the man, it changes you. And when you change, his mind, his perception, and his energy inevitably react. Because a man may ignore your words, resist your pleas, or fail to see your beauty or your achievements, but he can never ignore the vibration of a woman who acknowledges, reclaims, and resonates in her own fullness. Carl Jung said that a woman who integrates her shadow and embodies her light becomes a living portal, a magnetic field that needs no strategies to be irresistible. That is the woman this code is creating in you. So today, strong soul, engrave this in your heart. It's not about what you do, what you say, how you dress, or what techniques you apply. It's about the vibration from which you exist. Because when your vibration sends the silent message, I am a complete universe. You're welcome if you come in peace and truth. But if you don't, my world will continue shining. Then his mind has no choice. Because his deepest instinct will whisper, there she is. The only one I can't control. The only one who doesn't need me. The only one my soul recognizes as an irreplaceable mystery. Secret 6, the final paradox. Your freedom creates his devotion. Stay tuned, because in Secret 6, I'll reveal the final paradox. Why is it that when you no longer need his love, that's when you inspire it most genuinely? And how this code wasn't created to trap him, but to free you. You've reached the end of this powerful video. Here, you'll discover the most potent truth. The truth Carl Jung would call the paradox of individuation and eros, the deep mystery no man can resist. Because there's something you need to know, strong soul. The moment you no longer need his love is exactly the moment his soul starts offering it to you in the purest, most authentic way. I know it sounds contradictory. Your mind, programmed in scarcity, says, but if I don't need him, why would he want to be with me? Here's the revelation that changes everything. As long as you need him, your energy emits pressure. As long as you need him, your vibration screams, without you, I'm incomplete. As long as you need him, he feels that choosing you would mean taking on a burden, not making a free choice. And no man wants to feel trapped in a place where his presence is required just to keep you stable, because that's not love. That's weight. Carl Jung said that real love is born from the meeting of two complete individuals, not from two halves seeking each other out to survive. Let me share a true story that illustrates this paradox. Her name is Mary, 42 years old, a clinical psychologist, mother of two, a radiant soul, but with a history of relationships where she always ended up being the one who loved more. She met Paul, 45 years old, an entrepreneur, intense, controlling, with a charisma that filled any room. From the start, Mary felt hypnotized. Everything about him fascinated her. His strength, leadership, vision, confidence. And without realizing it, she started vibrating in neediness. She always waited for him. She rearranged her plans for him. She kept silent to avoid making him uncomfortable. She constantly asked if he loved her. For a year, their relationship was an emotional roller coaster. Paul did love her, but her needy energy suffocated him. Until one day, after an argument in which he said, I feel like you're always expecting something from me that I can't give. Mary broke down. She cried for days, until, during a meditation, she heard the phrase that transformed her life. He didn't come to complete you. He came to show you where you still haven't chosen yourself. That day, Mary made a radical decision. she signed up for an energetic healing retreat. She began somatic therapy to heal her wounded inner child. She went back to her singing lessons, her childhood passion. She started going out alone for coffee and writing reflections. She began saying no with loving firmness. For months, Paul kept reaching out as always, but Mary no longer responded from anxiety. She responded from her power. And over time, something in Paul's energy changed. He began to look at her differently, no longer as the woman who desperately needed his validation, but as a fulfilled woman who, if he didn't choose with his whole heart, another man would see her brilliance and win her over forever. Here's the final paradox. When you no longer need him, you become irresistible, because your energy stops asking and starts offering. Because you no longer emit, "Take me so I feel complete," but instead I allow you to come closer if you come from truth. And here's the brutal, liberating revelation. The ultimate purpose of this code isn't to trap him, it's to free you. Because when you recognize that it was never his love you were seeking, but the part of yourself you projected onto him, you reclaim your energy, your time, and your golden qualities as your own. You resonate at the highest vibration of your fullness. And then, his mind, his ego, and his soul react like an electrical system responding to a magnetic field, unable to resist. Carl Jung said that the woman who has brought her shadow into the light, who no longer needs to be chosen to feel worthy, becomes such a profound mystery that no man can replace her. Because her light is no longer offered like a beggar seeking love, but as a gift reserved for the one capable of holding her greatness. Here's the final integration of this secret. The paradox is that when you stop seeking his devotion, that's when you inspire it effortlessly. When you no longer strive to be the chosen one, you become the only real option. When your freedom is more important to you than his love becomes inevitable. So today, strong soul, engrave these words into every cell of your being. This code wasn't created to make his mind love you. It was created so you remember how to love yourself so deeply that his love becomes a gift, not a necessity. And that woman, the woman who acknowledges, reclaims, and resonates, is not just loved. She is adored. It was never about him. It was the hidden program you were running without realizing it. It was the part of you you gave away without resistance. It was the frequency at which you were vibrating. Today, you've discovered that there's a 3-word code that isn't spoken to attract him, but to remind you of who you are. I acknowledge deactivates the illusion and gives you back your clarity. I reclaim takes your power off his altar and restores it to your center. I resonate makes you a sun that doesn't need to chase anything, because everything comes to you through pure magnetism. Carl Jung said that the woman who has integrated her shadow becomes irresistibly attractive because her vibration no longer searches. So today, strong soul, engrave this truth into your soul. You're not here to be chosen. You're here to shine. You're here to remember that the only mind that must love you unconditionally is your own. Because when you acknowledge, reclaim, and resonate, his mind, his body, and his soul will no longer have a choice. He will see you as the only woman he can never replace. Comment below. Today I install the code. I acknowledge, I reclaim, and I resonate. Write it and decree this vibrational rebirth so that the universe and your subconscious can carve this truth in fire. It was never a spell to trap him. It was a portal to set you free. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself today. And always remember, true love is never chased. True love is attracted when you no longer need it to feel whole. And if this message resonated with you, I invite you to leave a powerful like, subscribe, and absolutely activate the notification bell. But above all, don't leave just yet. There's so much more waiting for you. Dive into the other videos here on the channel and keep expanding your energy and your power. I'll see you in the next video.